Hey guys, so welcome in. Welcome back to the Soul Room 111. My name's Trishelle. Do a soul work read today. All the cards just fell, so. Okay, so the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands popped out, and the Six of Cups in reverse. So there's either something that you're trying to move on from, or there's something that's stagnant, something that's not moving. Queen of Swords. Okay, so all the queens came out. So this could definitely be a feminine energy. If you resonate with being a feminine energy, Four of Pentacles wanted to come out. So you're holding on too tightly to something. You can't let go of something. You're holding on too tightly to it. Seven of Cups. Maybe it's some kind of illusion or some kind of fantasy. The Sun's here in reverse. So this could be some kind of negativity. This could be some kind of depression. This could be some kind of delay. We do have stagnation out here twice. So something could be delayed, stagnant, and you're holding on too tightly to something. So something else is being delayed, maybe. Let's see what else is here. What else wants to come out? Oh, your Ten of Cups is being delayed. Okay. So maybe you feel like you have embodied all three of these queens. And where's my happily ever after? Is that how you feel? Let's see. What else? Page of Pentacles. This could be something coming in for you, or this could be you wanting to learn more. Maybe you're wanting to go back to school. Maybe you're wanting to pick up a new hobby or start a little side hustle or do something fun for you. This is the Five of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. So the Five of Wands is in reverse. So this is something too, like maybe this is a missed opportunity coming back around. Maybe this is something you used to want to do and you're going to actually try it now. The Knight of Pentacles, you know, maybe this time around you have to put in more hard work, a little bit more discipline. Or if this is someone coming in that wants to offer you something, they're going to be hardworking, they're going to be reliable, which is what you want, right? That's the kind of person you want. Three of Cups is there. So this could be somebody coming back around. This could just be somebody that you know, you're friends with and they want to come in and offer you something. Or this is something that's going to make you really happy. The wheel just flew out in reverse. So again, missed opportunity, stagnancy. This is something that hasn't happened yet. The Four of Wands in reverse. So this is also a card that talks about delay. Okay, so what is being delayed? Or why is this being delayed? Let's see. Why is this being delayed? So the Eight of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so maybe you walked away from something or somebody walked away from you, or you have to let go. The Eight of Cups can be talking about letting go of something. The Seven of Pentacles in reverse is talking about impatience, not getting what you wanted. It also can talk about missed opportunities or disappointment. So maybe you have to let go of disappointment of one situation so another situation can come in. I don't know if this is a love reading or if this is a work situation. Is this love or is this work? So the King of Swords in reverse. So maybe this is just talking about healing in general, because the King of Swords in reverse is usually somebody who's very narcissistic and very cold, manipulative. So maybe you're used to dealing with those kinds of people just in general, and you've had to do a lot of healing. Why'd the King of Swords come out? Okay, so the moon came out in reverse. So maybe something's being illuminated to you. And the high priestess is here in reverse. So, or I'm sorry, the high priestess is upright. So maybe you're listening to your inner wisdom and you're seeking guidance about the situation. But there's some kind of deception or some kind of illusion that needs to be illuminated, some kind of secret about this King of Swords situation. Tell me more about this King of Swords. Why is the King of Swords here? The King of Cups. The King of Cups is somebody who has emotional maturity. Maybe there's somebody that you're dealing with who is holding back emotions, and they're being more of a King of Swords in reverse instead of a King of Cups. And so the moon came out and the high priestess came out. Okay, why did the moon and the high priestess come out? Why did the moon and the high priestess come out? The Hanged Man. Maybe you need to look at this from a different perspective. Hang on. What is the different perspective that we need to look at? First of all, this is 3 major arcanas that just came out together. So whatever this is a big deal. Like, this is some major healing that's going on within you. So what's the new perspective? Oh, the Tower in reverse. So the new perspective is the Tower in reverse. Tell me more about that. The Six of Swords in reverse. So both these cards can be talking about fear of change, resisting, holding on to the past, not wanting to move forward. So maybe this person is afraid to move forward because it's going to be a big deal. The Tower upright, it's going to be a big deal. Why is there fear here? What are they afraid of? What's this King of Cups afraid of? The Hermit came out in reverse. So they're afraid of being alone, like they're afraid of being left alone. The Two of Wands, they're afraid to move forward or make a decision. Three of Pentacles in reverse. Maybe that you don't feel the same way. And the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Dependency. So this can also talk about financial difficulties. So maybe they're having some financial issues right now. But this all to me looks like the same issues. Like, it just looks like being afraid of commitment, because the Nine of Pentacles is a very self-sufficient energy, but the Three of Pentacles is working together and collaborating. The Two of Wands is making a decision and moving forward. So it looks like to me they're afraid to move things forward towards commitment, towards teamwork, towards working together. Maybe they don't want to lose their sense of stability, independence even. Yeah, the Seven of Swords is in reverse. That's talking about honesty. Maybe they're afraid to be honest. Why? Why is that here? Whoa. Okay, so the Ten of Wands came out. So they're afraid to be honest because it's a lot of responsibility, it's a lot of burden. And then the Hierophant came out in reverse. So maybe this is something non-traditional. So it's a lot of burden because it's non-traditional. The Ace of Swords is here, so this is talking about clarity and breakthrough, and the Page of Wands is in reverse, so maybe they're afraid to tell you why they're holding back. I don't see any more on the floor. It looks like they have a lot of burdens around this situation that maybe they just don't want to tell you about. What else can you tell us about why they're holding back? What's the fear here? Eight of Wands. They're afraid to move forward. They're afraid to communicate. They're afraid of change. Why? Why? Okay, so the Devil. So maybe there's some toxicity or addiction that they have. And the Four of Cups, so, and the Six of Pentacles. So maybe the Devil here can just also be talking about fear. So maybe they have a fear of giving, okay, so maybe they have a fear of receiving but not giving, because the Four of Cups here is talking about apathy. So maybe they have a fear of not being able to give to the situation. Why? The Five of Cups came out and the Nine of Wands. So they have a lot of regret here, and they feel like this is a challenging situation, and they have a lot of regret. Why do they have this fear of not being able to give? King of Wands. Their fear maybe is around leadership, or King of Wands can also be talking about confidence. Maybe they have a confidence issue. Why? Why do they have confidence issue? Nine of Swords in reverse. So maybe they have some they have a confidence issue, maybe because they need reassurance. The Nine of Swords in reverse can be talking about needing reassurance. Maybe that makes them feel needy. Is that it? Is that the issue? Page of Cups. Yes. That's the issue. So maybe they feel like they need too much reassurance in this situation, and it makes them come off as needy. And with the Page of Cups here, maybe it could just be a yes card because I asked a yes or no question. But the Page of Cups, they want to offer something, but maybe what they want to offer is something small. This card literally says love or an apology is on the horizon. So maybe also they have to release this anxiety that they're having, this fear, in order to bring you this new beginning. Okay, what's the outcome of this? Okay, so the Chariot. So they do want to move this forward. And the Chariot also talks about willpower. It talks about getting in the driver's seat and driving, right? So it talks about them taking the action and using their willpower to move things forward. It also talks about going, moving things forward fast, right? Because the Chariot is fast. And it's also a yes card. So there's the Eight of Pentacles. So you have the Chariot and the Eight of Pentacles. So they do want to move things forward. That's the outcome. The Chariot and the Eight of Pentacles, they do want to move things forward. They just have to release this anxiety first. And maybe this is something that they need to communicate with you. Like, hey, I need some extra reassurance in this situation. Or this is what you need to see differently in the situation, that they're feeling insecure. They don't want to come off as needy. And that's why they're being cold. They just need a little extra reassurance. Maybe that's something they'll tell you. Let's see. Is this something that they're going to tell the collective? Okay, so the Page of Swords came out. So that is, to me, a message of truth, a message of clarity, that they want to tell you, hey, maybe I'm feeling a little insecure. The Five of Swords also came out in reverse with that. So, you know, the Five of Swords in reverse can talk about being humble and seeking peace. So maybe they realized that they needed to tell you this. Have they realized this? Have they realized this? Death in reverse. Okay. So maybe they haven't quite realized this yet, but justice is here. So they do want to be fair, but maybe they haven't quite realized this yet. Are they going to realize this? What's going on with this? Why is death here in reverse? Strength in reverse. So they're having some doubts. They're having some doubts. Why? Why is the doubt? Ooh. I'm gonna have to switch. Let me switch. Ooh. Why are they having doubt? Why is strength here in reverse? Six of Swords in reverse. Okay. What else? And the Two of Cups in reverse. So maybe this is a previous situation. They're having self-doubt because this is a previous situation with the Six of Swords. They don't want to move on from the past situation where they thought it was mutual and it ended up not being mutual. And now they're having that insecurity and that self-doubt. So maybe they have experienced rejection in the past where somebody just wasn't into them like they thought they were, or they needed reassurance and somebody thought maybe they were a little too clingy or whatever. Are they going to realize this? Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups can be a wish fulfillment, but it's also it's a selfish energy also. So that tells me that it's something that they're going to have to realize on their own, that this is what they're doing. Has this happened yet? Or is this happening soon? Ace of Swords. Okay, so this is probably what they're going through right now. Okay, because Ace of Swords is talking about truth and clarity, yes, but it's also talking about breakthrough and ideas. So maybe they're having this epiphany now that they're holding back because they just need some reassurance. What else? So the Hermit in reverse. So they want to come out of isolation. You know, they want to be done with this. Yeah, the Emperor. They want to take action. They might also, want to control the situation too. The Emperor can be a controlling energy, but it's also somebody that takes control of the situation. But the Ace of Cups is in reverse, so they're still holding back, or they haven't offered you this yet. So Ace of Wands also came out in reverse, which talks about the same thing: delays, stagnancy. Five of Cups, they're having regret. Justice is here again, and the Eight of Wands. So they know that they need to move this forward. They know they need to be the Emperor. They know that it's up to them to be fair in this situation. When is this coming in? When is this coming in? So the first card out was the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is fast. It's a fast moving energy. The Moon, but there's still some secrets, or this is going around the moon. And if you're watching this in real time, today is the 4th, January 4th. I think we just had a moon yesterday. King of Swords is in reverse, yeah. So there's some kind of secret still of why they're holding back. Ten of Cups in reverse. To me, it just looks like there's a lot of fear on their end in this situation. It doesn't look like they're, being sneaky or a bad person or anything. There's nothing out here that talks about them being a player or them lying or anything like that. This just talks about them being afraid to move forward. Queen of Pentacles. There's the Knight of Swords. So they want to move forward fast, but the Ace of Pentacles is there. So, all the aces are in reverse. All the aces are in reverse. So that means they're still holding back. All the queens are upright. We have all 4 queens out here, and they're all upright. So they definitely see your value in this situation. This is their fear. So this isn't somebody that's a player. This is a good, this is somebody that you want. This is a good connection. What's the outcome of this situation? The Hangman. The Hangman, it talks about new perspective, but it also talks about surrender. So either you need to surrender the situation, or they need to surrender to the situation, or both. And Death is still in reverse. Yeah. So, they need to go through a little bit of a healing process yet in order to get through that self-doubt and that fear in order to move forward, because right now it's stuck. What can the collective do? What can the collective do? Four of Wands. So just, Four of Wands, yes, it has all kinds of meanings, but it talks about being stable. So being stable. Four of Pentacles in reverse. Letting go. Don't hold on too tightly. Surrender. This one is the Sun. This is Sun card. And find, focus on yourself and what makes you happy, basically, is what this is saying. what else do we need to know? The Fool in reverse. So that can talk about a new beginning that's not happening yet, but it can also talk about not being foolish, not being reckless, right? Four of Cups in reverse does talk about a new beginning, right? Having to transition from apathy, from not receiving, into a new beginning of receiving. So the World and Strength. And the Seven of Wands. So, I mean, it does, it looks like they've really had to defend themselves. Maybe it's taken a lot of their strength having to hold back here. Page of Wands just came out, which also talks about delay. So they've had to defend themselves with this delay. It's probably taken a lot of strength. It also looks like they have some insecurities here. They need to close out another cycle with the World. And there's the Queen of Cups. Okay. Anything else that we need to know for this situation to help us? Okay. What do we need to know? I got a new Oracle deck. It's called the Answer Oracle. Gratitude came out. Appreciate, say thank you, cherish the moment. Empty. This says clean, purify, empty, practice. Okay. That can also be talking about, the advice that we had of letting go, surrendering, letting go, seeing this from a new perspective. Okay, prosperity came out and father came out. So you could be dealing with somebody who has children. Maybe you have some wounding that needs healed. Prosperity came out. So this is talking about abundance and wealth and good luck, blessings. These are all things to focus on for you so that you can move forward. Okay, painting came out. So maybe it's time to focus on something creative, starting something creative, an outlet that you can express your emotions. That's what this card talks about. And then this card says love. So it's talking about appreciation, fondness, respect, and trust. This looks like a love situation to me. So it looks like it's not something that's growing. It's just something that needs to move into the next phase. There's healing happening here for this masculine energy. So I'm going to focus a little bit more on the masculine energy that's in this reading. What healing does he need? What healing does this person need? Page of Swords, Three of Cups, Five of Wands reversed, Five of Pentacles reversed, Temperance, and the Hierophant. Okay, so it's definitely something around relationships and commitment. Okay, they're healing some kind of commitment issue. Temperance is talking about healing. Those are also two spiritual cards. The Five of Pentacles is talking about being, coming out of the cold. So to me, it looks like there was some kind of rejection here. With the Five of Wands also, there was some kind of previous rejection. And this can be the third party card. But since it came out with the Page of Swords, I really feel like this is talking about gossip. And since it came out with the third party, maybe it was an experience that was embarrassing. It was an embarrassing experience because the Page of Swords talks about gossip and Three of Cups talks about community and people. So maybe people were talking about what happened, this conflict, this issue that happened before, and it was just embarrassing. But it was around some kind of commitment because the Hierophant came out. So it just looks to me like that's something that they don't want to happen again. The Eight of Cups, so they need to walk away. They need to walk away from indecision with the Two of Wands being out here and the Nine of Cups in reverse. They need to walk away from indecision. The Magician came out. Maybe they're also being a little bit manipulative. Are they going to? Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so Knight of Pentacles is forward movement. It's just slow and steady. So this might be happening slower than you want it to. And the Nine of Pentacles again in reverse. The Eight of Swords in reverse. Yeah, it's a slow process for them to get out of their head. What do they need from the collective? What do they need from the collective? The Devil in reverse. The World. Two of Cups in reverse. The Stars in reverse. Sheesh. Okay. So, I mean, it really looks like they need to release some patterns, some toxicity that they have. The World talks about completion. It talks about closure. The Star talks about delays. The High Priestess is on the bottom. This is resonating for you. Maybe you already know what to do. You grab a different deck and ask this again. What does this person need from the collective? Knight of Cups in reverse. Ten of Wands. Knight of Wands in reverse. Six of Wands. Okay. I feel like this is saying they they are looking to see if this is upsetting you, because you have Knight of Cups in reverse, which is talking about emotions. So they're not looking for emotions from you. You got the Knight of Wands in reverse. They're not looking for chemistry from you. This is what's upright. The Ten of Wands is talking about being burdened, and the Six of Wands is talking about victory and success. So it looks to me like they're looking to you to see if you are also upset about the situation. Why? Why? The King of Pentacles in reverse. This person is funny. Why? Why else do they want to? Why else do they want to see this? Why else do they want to see this? The Eight of Swords. So okay, the Eight of Swords just popped out. Okay, so they want to see if you're overthinking the situation the same as them. They're just wanting to see some kind of reaction from you, it looks like to me, to see if you're upset like they are. Okay. What what will happen if they see this? If they see this reaction? The Queen of Pentacles. Oops. Okay, well, this fell out, and the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Cups fell out on top. Okay, so that tells me they're going to want to move towards the Queen of Pentacles. If they don't, if you stay unbothered, what's going to happen? Ace of Cups is still coming out. And the Hierophant. And the the Seven of Wands fell. Seven of Wands fell in reverse. Okay, so that still looks like they're going to release their toxicity and move forward towards you. So I would say my advice in this situation is to stay unbothered if you want this person. Now, let me ask if being unbothered, and showing them that you're burdened by this is the same thing. So the Queen of Swords came out, okay. The Magician came out in reverse. And the Nine of Cups came out in reverse. So those are a Queen of Swords, Hmm. Maybe it's coming off as being manipulative. Maybe that's what they're thinking. But there's the World. Why are they thinking the Magician in reverse here? The Queen of Cups in reverse. The King of Wands. The Seven of Pentacles. And the Page of Swords. So the King of Wands is wanting to step forward, putting in some effort. But the Queen of Cups came out in reverse. So it looks to me like the advice here is to stay unbothered, but maybe also be truthful. Maybe that's what the Queen of Swords here is saying, because the Queen of Swords are talking about clarity and truth. So, if you have the chance to say, hey, this bothers me, don't hold back, because the Magician here in reverse is talking about manipulation, and the Nine of Cups is not getting what you want. So, don't hold back the truth of the situation. If this is somebody that you want and it bothers you, don't hold that back. Be honest about that. The Queen of Cups is different. That's talking about holding back emotion. That's different. The Queen of Swords is talking about truth, holding back the truth. Don't hold back the truth. You can hold back your emotions, and you can stay unbothered with the situation or not react to the situation, but you still want to be truthful and honest that this is somebody that you want to go out with, or whatever the situation is. And you want them to invest in you. You want the Page of Swords. You want that honesty. So, and the King of Wands came out with the Page of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles. So that's being honest about, you want an investment from this person. And the World's here in reverse. So that's what this is telling me. It's okay to hold back your emotion from the situation, but don't hold back honesty. Be truthful about what you want in this situation. And that looks like it's going to bring them in, because the Ace of Cups and the Hierophant and the Eight of Wands came out together with the previous spread. And this might also be talking about you personally, because the Devil came out. Maybe this is a pattern that you need to release. Maybe you hold back truth from a situation, and that's something that you need to move through. So this was a really big spread. I want one more card to pop out from the previous deck. What else do we need to know? I don't know why I picked this deck back up. So the Fool came out in reverse, and the Empress. So, they're wanting to take that leap. They just haven't yet. And to me, it looks like they just need to know the truth of the situation. So like I said, if you have the opportunity to be honest in this situation, be honest. You can still hold back emotion, but don't hold back the truth. So I hope this resonated with you guys. If it did, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.